Porsche is upside down. In Virginia, where I grew up, there wasn't much of a car scene. And I ended up going to college in Virginia Beach, and I was going to a place called Mount Trashmore Skate Park. I pulled up in my Mustang, my second car I had. I go up to the booth to sign into the skate park. It was just like a public skate park, right? You had a little membership card, said, hey, I'm here. This is my waiver. I'm not gonna hurt myself. The guy goes, hey, by the way, I like your Mustang. I'm like, oh, thanks, dude. He goes, you ever go to the car meets around here? I go, what car meets? You know what, I know you don't know me, but just come with me tonight and you'll see. So I ended up going to this car wash in Virginia Beach called Freedom Wash. And it was this giant car meet that looked straight out of Fast and Furious, like hundreds of cars. It was wild. And I was like, this is real? Like, I couldn't believe that this was a real thing. I was like, oh man, I like this. You know, being like 22 years old, and I'm like, this is my scene, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm not a big partier, but I love cars. So this works out perfect. This is my late night thing. During summer break, I would go back to Richmond, Virginia, where my family lived. And I would just kind of twiddle my thumbs going, I have no car stuff here. All my car friends are back in Virginia Beach. So I was driving 2 hours back to Virginia Beach just to do car stuff like every weekend. I was like, this is boring. I don't want to be here. So I posted on Facebook as a, emotional young 20-something. Man, I'm just like depressed. There's no car stuff here in Richmond. Then somebody goes, are you blind? I'm like, yeah, I must be blind. They go to this meet. I go, okay. I get to this meet and it's maybe bigger than the one I'm going to in Virginia Beach. I'm like, wow, I'm stupid. So I end up making friend groups in both cities, and we end up kind of letting the stars align. Everybody got to know each other later of both cities, and we all became good friends. But one of my best friends, his name was Matt Holder, still up there, bless his heart, love the guy. He had this 4-way steering 4th gen Prelude. It was very rare, rarely ever saw them. And I remember meeting him that night, the same night, my first time at that meet. This guy goes, hey Matt, do the party trick. And he turns the wheel and the back wheels go woo, and you're like, that's so strange. I get to know him, and we end up hanging out over time. He ends up working on my Mustang a little bit, giving me some help. Right when I got my 2013, he helped put on a lot of the parts. And then his cousin was like, hey, I know you're starting to do these like car review things or whatever you're calling them. Well, I just picked up this 944, this Porsche Turbo. You should drive one. It's funny, the first Porsche I ever drove was a front engine rear-wheel drive one, not a rear engine 911 or something. So I get in this car, it has a roll cage in it, it's set up for autocross. It feels like the first race car I've ever been in. The thing was pretty quick, it was probably 340 wheel horsepower. It felt a lot like an SR20 and a 240 or something. And it was a lot of fun, made a lot of choo-choo noises, all the good stuff. Have a great time, review goes great. A few days go by, I'm hanging out with Matt Holder and his cousin, and they are talking so much trash to each other. They're like, I'm a better driver than you. Just the ego measurement test going, I'm a better driver. No, I'm a better driver. Well, Matt goes, well, I can prove it. His cousin goes, no, I can prove it. Well, it's already like 5 o'clock. And they're like, well, there's this really good back road that, I could show you what's up. I'll outrun you on it, essentially. I said, guys, I don't think this is a good idea. My brain, anyway. I didn't say it. I should have said it, but I didn't. So I got in my Mustang and I said, I'll lead to kind of set a pace. We're just going for a night cruise. It's all gonna be fine. There's this one road I always did, and that's what I put them on. Well, they hadn't driven it as much as I have, and that comes in later. So there's this one straightaway where at night you cannot see anything. It's a tree tunnel, so it makes it even darker. There's always kind of endangerment of deer and stuff like that at night. And I'm just cruising, and I got ahead of the pack enough to where I don't see Matt and his cousin anymore. So we're driving, and all of a sudden I hear this really loud bang. And they were probably a half mile back behind me, and I still heard it. It sounded like thunder or lightning hit the ground. It was this crazy loud bang. I was like, that doesn't sound good. I get a phone call saying so-and-so is off the road. You need to come back. Turn around, come back. The Porsche is upside down on its roof. Matt was leading his cousin, and on that straightaway with the tree tunnel at the very end, there's a 90-degree turn. But there's also a gravel driveway straight. The thing is that the elevation is it's flat, and then it would go kind of like this, and then here's the gravel driveway, but here's where you're supposed to go. So at night, it just looks like he kept going straight. Well, Matt, at the last second, took the turn. His cousin did not. Goes off the road, hits a tree stump, and one of his wheels, they got like caught in it and starts flipping him over and over and over again. Lucky to be alive. The roll cage saved his life, no doubt about it. And he got out basically unscathed with some bruises on him. He's super upset, and the cops show up, and man, I just remember saying, how are we going to explain this? How are we going to explain this? Like, we look like a bunch of dumb kids, which we were being a bunch of dumb kids. And basically we're like, well, there's a lot of deer on this road. I guess we were trying to dodge a deer. And that was the story. Matt's cousin ended up going off at probably around 90 miles an hour. So when the cops did finally show up, they said, that's no deer. They didn't buy it, but it was the official report, I still believe. But yeah, about 90 miles an hour, because they brought in people to look at the tread marks and the braking pattern. They're like, there's no way. They were not stupid. They basically looked at him and said, young, dumb kid. And he flipped his car, which they see every day. So when the officer got out, she just looked around and was like, yeah, this is bad, but you're okay, so you're lucky. I mean, that had to hurt when you get your first kind of sporty car and you're enjoying it and being like, look guys, I have this awesome turbocharged car and it makes all the right noises and it's a Porsche, and now it's flipped. Like after 2 weeks, that was it. I think it was reckless driving or something, but at the end of the day, he was fine. He didn't go to jail or anything. So we have a crashed 944 that he just bought 2 weeks earlier. And Matt in his Prelude just standing there going, well, I guess I'm the better driver after all that. So I think it's one of those stories where when you're older, you go, God, I was dumb. You look back at it and you're like, I could have died if I made the same mistake, or I could have done something just as bad. But this could be a lesson to a lot of people of don't let your ego get too big. And there's no reason to drive a dangerous road at midnight with no lights, no guardrails, no whatever, because you just don't know sometimes. And it could mean the end of everything. You don't know. Hoon responsibly, enjoy back roads. I think it's a great time, but at the same time, like that experience really gave me hindsight. And I think I grew up a bit after that night. I started to not be as reckless and stuff like that. So lesson learned, everything was okay, but at the end of the day, they probably do not know I'm telling this story, so it's going to be interesting how they react.
VINwiki is proud to be partnering with Mobile App Hero to continue changing the way we look at documenting automotive history. We're working with them to bring updates to our mobile and web-based app, so stay tuned to their social media and ours and keep telling the stories of all the cars you love.